This looks good.
It looks good. I like it.
Okay, you
Like
ready?
everything about it. Yeah.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Soul Seekers TV. I'm your soul guide, Patricia Rivera-Wolfson.
And I am your soul guide, Linda Krause-Barnett. It's so nice to have you guys here.
We are so excited to begin today because today is our first day of our soul-seeking experiment. Oh, I don't think I have a side-by-side, so let me change that. Perfect. Okay. I'm super excited about this, as I know Linda is too, because we thought how cool to do these experiments together, to test things out, to test out these theories that we talk about, that we believe, especially these, sort of personal development tools that we use about shifting our mind and training our brain to look at the bright side and to know we're fully supported. And then we encountered this book, E Squared by Pam Grout, which actually outlines 9 experiments that are energy experiments to prove that your thoughts create your reality. And we were like, why not? Why shouldn't we do this? So if this is the first time that you're even hearing about this and you want to join us, we will have a link below where you can purchase your own copy of the book through an affiliate link, or you can just meet us right here on our Facebook page on Soul Seekers TV. And you can follow us on Mondays at 11:11, just like right now, and on Thursdays at 11:11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we will talk about our results for these experiments. So let's get right to it and talk about today's experiment. The first one is the Dude Abides principle. So the Dude Abides principle, it basically, as per Pam Grout, is that there is an invisible energy force or field of infinite possibilities. Linda, you want to talk a little bit about it?
I would love to. So this is the part where I get really excited, because this is that knowing that we have that there's something out there, right? In Star Wars, they called it the Force. And it's that, but what's great about understanding the Force in the terms that she speaks them is that it's interactive, and that truly it has your back and it's there for you. And even though we know that, and even though, some people pray, some people meditate, however you interact, this principle is going to help us understand that it's there and it's present and that it's listening and that there's a relationship to be developed there, which is the part I really love. And so I took some notes about something she said that really kind of hit home for me. She said that it's a quantum field, not a linear field. So the point is that when you set an intention, it automatically exists. And that our perception of having to wait for it is because we live in such a linear focused life. And so we think that first you ask, then you wait, then comes the answer. But really the answer exists simultaneous to the request. And that's what's cool. And so the purpose of setting a deadline for these principles is that you have time to, in our linear reality, look for it and seek it out. But the truth is that it's manifested in the moment that we ask for it. And so I'm excited to play, because to me this feels very fun, and it feels like a little hide and seek game, like I know you're there and I know you're around, but now I get to, feel you and see you. And sometimes we're so afraid of that. Like seeing the unseen scares us. But I think that that's like just about the coolest thing to me, is interacting and feeling and seeing something that your eyes don't perceive. And that's where I think the gift of the Abides principle comes in, is because it actually is kind enough to put it into your physical environment, knowing that with physical proof, we tend to believe a little bit deeper. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, and also what happens is, because our brains are like a search engine, and I've been talking about this a lot, but our brains are like a search engine. Our brain is like Google. And what you tell it to look for is what it will find. And very rarely do we say, like, show me signs that God exists. I mean, maybe you do, or that source exists or spirit exists, but this is actually where we're going to step in and tell our brain, okay, within the next 48 hours, we are going to seek out the signs from the universe. It's very specific, and we'll get into that in a second, but this sets your mind into basically the focus that you need to be able to see the signs, pay attention, and bring it into your current field of vision, right? Into your current vibration, because it's like a radio, right? We're tuning into the frequency of where the communication happens. Where we're saying, okay, I got to tune into, 88.9 because that's where spirit is speaking to me. Although most of the time we might be on 102.1. So we're tuning our frequency so that we can pay attention and we can pick up on these signs that may be around us all the time, but we're just not listening, or we're not paying attention, and we're not making note of it.
And she says we're going to see the sign as something that cannot be written off as a coincidence, because I think all too often, and you and I do this with the birds, like we see blue jays and cardinals everywhere we go, and that's been our thing. And so when we're on the phone very often, so Patricia's in front of a window and I'm in front of a window, and we'll be doing our business and talking, and sure enough, like, oh, hello, Mr. Cardinal, and hello, Mr. Blue Jay. And we're like, yes, we're aligned, we're doing the right thing. But I love that she says that, because it's so easy to just write it off as a coincidence. Like, duh, there's a cardinal in your yard. Well, where else would a cardinal be? But it's at the precise moment that you need the sign. It's a communication. I saw a cardinal on my windowsill the day after my father passed away, and it literally did not fly away when I went to the window. And so I think she knew that when she wrote this, and so she does clarify, like, it's something big enough and kind of obvious enough that we won't just be able to write it off.
So. And we need to say that when we conduct the experiment, and I'm going to get into that right now, we need to be specific and literally ask, I want a sign that is so obvious that I cannot write it off. Like, that's going to be interwoven into your intention setting for this experiment. So let's get right to it. The experiment is this. The first thing you need to do is ask for a blessing or an unexpected gift. Now, you cannot specify what it is with this particular experiment. We're going to leave it open for the universe to just give us something unexpected. Obviously, because if we're asking for it, it's not unexpected. If we're like, I want a check for $500 to show up in my mail. I mean, although I hope everybody gets a check for $500 or more, but you cannot specify with this particular experiment. So the first thing is you're going to give the universe 48 hours to give you the blessing or unexpected gift. So ask for something, give the universe 48 hours. Do not specify what it is yet. That comes later. And you must be clear, concise, and give a deadline. Okay, specifically. So, for example, send me something awesome and unexpected by Wednesday, and make it so obvious that I cannot deny it as an answer to this request. And you literally sit down and set out your intention, and take some time, take some deep breaths. Really do this with intention.
And the purpose of this is to interact with the field of potentiality, the force, whatever you call it. She calls it the field of potentiality, and I love that. So the FP, I like little nicknames for things.
Yes.
The purpose of this is that it's to know, to first and foremost, before we continue with the experiments on and on, 2 through 8, to first establish that the field of potentiality exists and that we are able to interact with it.
And the thing is that, remember, we are communicating. So you're not texting while doing it. You're not on your computer with 17 tabs open while doing it. It's like when you're talking to somebody and having an intimate conversation with somebody you love. Drop everything, focus solely on them, and say, hey, I really want to know that you're here. I want a sign. And this sign for me is going to be a blessing. And I'm going to be paying attention for the next 48 hours. And I want you to send me something that I'm going to know without a shadow of a doubt. It is you communicating with me. Okay? Yep. And we've done this. If you've ever experienced someone who's passed, I'm sure you have sat down and said, I just need a sign to know that you're watching out for me. And you feel it, and maybe you question it. But this experiment is to set out and be like no doubt at all that there is something out there looking out for you that you can communicate with directly. And you don't have to be proven. You don't have to prove yourself worthy. You don't have to be deserving. You don't have to be anointed or special in any other way other than you took the time to communicate. So Oh, the other thing that you should do is set aside all disbelief. Now, if you are on our email list, which if you're not, we'll have a link for you in the comments as well, so that you can be given the updates whenever we're showing up. I literally wrote this down, okay? So set aside all disbelief, okay? Pretend you're starring in your favorite movie and you are driving a bus over an impossibly large gap. I just showed my kids the trailer to Speed. That's where that came from. And you have to get over this gap, right? You're the star of the movie. You're gonna make it. So you're not sitting there going, oh, that would never happen, okay? You have to enter into this experiment knowing that it could happen, that you're the star and you're gonna get your answer. So that's what I want you to have for your intention.
And
so
I would also like to add to that don't quantify. So nothing's too big, nothing's too small. Don't say, well, that could be, but it's so small. It's so, don't quantify it like we tend to do, and don't look for the size of it. Don't look for the color of it. Be completely unbiased in what it is, so that you don't filter and say, well, that could be it, but I don't know. It's not the right color. It's not the right size. Oh, it's the wrong time of day. It's the middle of the night. And I would encourage you, what I'm going to do as well is kind of try and keep some sort of paper journal recording, something, because as you see things, whether or not it's the sign, I think just, again, to point out your awareness and to be excited about the things that come into your field and into your vision, or your hearing, or any of your senses. But definitely don't be biased towards anything you see, and show gratitude for all of it, because it's all just starting to open up the doors.
Yes, you are opening up those lines of communication. And we are going to provide the lab report. Now, if you have the book, the lab report's already in the book. If you sign up on our email list, we will send you a lab report. So even if you don't have the book and you just want to follow us on these lives, you can do it, and you'll get the lab report where you can fill it out. It's actually like right in here. It's a whole lab report sheet that's got the principles and everything you need to fill out. So that would be an important step if you want to really do this in a scientific way.
Yeah.
And so pick a time to start. Now's good, okay? Jot down the time and date.
I'm doing fine.
Ask the field of potentiality, God, spirit, source, whatever you want to call it, to make its presence known, and ask for that blessing or unexpected gift, and then just observe it for the next 48 hours. And then we will be back here on our Facebook page on soulseekers.com, on Soul Seekers TV on Facebook. We will talk about our own experiences, what we saw, what we didn't see. And please, please, please do not judge yourself if nothing happens. That's totally fine, right, Linda? Like,
it's totally fine. And I am so excited, though, to just interact with you guys on Thursday and to hear what you experienced in these next few days. And I'm so excited to hear all of the juice that comes out of this nice little experiment.
Yeah, I mean, that's the whole thing, is that we want this to be fun. I'm going to be honest with you. And when I read this book, I was like, what a great idea. I really want to kind of do this. But I knew I wasn't going to do it on my own. And so I dragged Linda into it. And even more so because the two of us are like, we just love doing things in groups and doing things with people. We're just those types of people that love that interaction and accountability. So I might not always show up for myself, even though, it's a constant thing that I'm working towards, as all of us in the personal development industry. But for you, I'll do this and show up. And so what better way for us to experience this than to really do this together and share our experience together and see what result comes. I mean, it's not going to be bad. It can only be good. It can only be awesome.
What sold me is that it's fun. And like you said, if there's any way to get me on board with anything, it's because it's fun. And so that's how this should feel. It should feel light, and it should feel playful, and it should feel fun. There should be no kind of pressure to get the right result, because there is no right result. It's just an experience that we're all going to share.
Absolutely. So make sure that if you don't have a book, like I said, you can get one. We'll show you we'll share our affiliate link. If you want to be on our email list, so you get the prompts directly to your email in case you can't make it live, that will also be in our comments. So just look below. And if you have any questions, reach out to us on Facebook or through our email. We're here to answer any questions you may have. And other than that, I guess we'll see you Thursday at 11:11 in the morning in Eastern Standard Time.
All right, everybody, good luck, farewell.
And we'll see you again.
And I'm so excited to start.
Me too.